How do we support situational awareness within enterprise architecture and with enterprise architecture? This was a question that was posed to me by several people, particularly Lloyd and Alec, Blair. What I'd suggest is a useful metaphor of the invisible armies. If we look at an army, it has lots of physical stuff. And nowadays it has lots of information. But we also need to look at the relationships between people and the sense of purpose that connects them all together. So we need to connect all of these invisible armies as well as the visible stuff and visible actions that we see. For this, there's two German terms, two classic German military terms that are really useful here. One of them is auftragstaktik and the other is fingerspitzengefühl. Auftragstaktik is about distributed decision making, that the people at the front line need to have the information that they need and need to be able to make the decisions based on local circumstances. This is where we get the idea of commander's intent rather than rigid instructions. We want to have the intention, the outcome that we're looking at. How you get there has to be decided locally. And it also has to be connected to purpose, because if we don't have connection to purpose, what we get, to use Stafford Beer's famous phrase or term, is what we get is POSIWID. The purpose of the system is what it does. If we want to have an actual purpose that we choose rather than just simply arises, we need to have clarity on what purpose is to help guide our decision making. The other side of this is fingerspitzengefühl, which literally translates as fingertip sensitivity or fingertip feeling, which is actually what we mean really by situational awareness. Because without connection to reality, decisions are made on assumptions and guesswork. This is simply not a good idea. So we pick up information, we pass it around to other people, building a sense across the whole, not just in our own area, of the fingertip feel of what's going on. We can't pass it through a rigid hierarchy upwards and back down because it's too slow in real-time action. What we have to do is to feed it gently up there and feed it gently back so that we can still adapt, auftragstaktik, adapting distributed decisions. So an example here on a larger scale would be something like Wardley maps, where we start building a feel for how the technology is changing, how we move from initial experimentation to bespoke to off the peg to commodity. All of the technologies gently shift in that direction. We need the special sauce to do the bits that differentiate us from others. But as far as practical, we want to build those special sauces on top of commodity services that are easily available. So we spread the information around. We use something like Wardley maps to build a picture of what the landscape is like and as it is dynamically changing. So we're building situational awareness at the big picture scale as well as the low picture scale. So our architecture must support all of our invisible armies, the connections between people, the connection to purpose, the connection being made with information, going back down to the physical actions. So things like big data, things like Internet of Things, all of these do come into the picture here, but they don't come before, they don't dominate. We need to understand what the picture is in order to build the situational awareness with these new sensors and new tools.